Battle Aces has been cancelled. I'm not normally one to hop on the news train with these sorts of things or to make news flashes about things, but Battle Aces has just been officially cancelled. They have posted on their Discord and on their Twitter that development is coming to an end, and that sucks because I really was enjoying the game and had really been on the grind for making content for it recently. I don't really know what this video is going to be. I think it is mostly going to be me going through the post to get you guys up to date, and then I guess maybe we'll look back on some of the games and some of the sets. Right. Let's take a look at the actual post itself so that I can read it for you all. Today, with deep regret, we are announcing the development on Battle Aces has come to an end. Creating Battle Aces has been a tremendously rewarding endeavor, and we are grateful for the passion and support from our community. Unfortunately, the returns from early testing were not strong enough to support continued development. The decision was not made lightly. Battle Aces represented a bold vision, our attempt to reimagine real-time strategy for a new generation. We set out to create something fast, tactical, and approachable, while still delivering the depth that made RTS special. Every step of the way, from internal playtests to closed betas, we were fueled by your enthusiasm, feedback, and support. From all of us at Uncapped, thank you for joining us on this journey. To the players who showed up after match, to the fans who theory-crafted, shared strategies, created content, and invited friends, to the testers who reported bugs, submitted surveys, and helped us improve, to the creators who lit up Twitch and YouTube with excitement and curiosity, to our communities. You inspired us every day and made Battle Aces memorable. We will always be proud of what we built and the community that formed around Battle Aces, and while the game's journey ends here, connections, ideas, and memories we shared will remain with us forever. Thank you for being a part of this adventure, and thank you for believing in our vision. So yeah, it's a rough thing to hear, and I expect that many of you will be disappointed or gutted in that, myself included. Battle Aces was a really shining example of a new thing breaking into a space, but it is, I think, unfortunate to hear that the response they got throughout the process wasn't as big as they expected it to be. I do wonder, looking at the post, where does it say? It says, our attempts were... Unfortunately, the return from early testing were not strong enough to support continued development. Implies that they didn't get enough back, but the game was free to play, or at least intended to be free to play, and I certainly didn't pay anything to get into it, so I don't know what support or form they're using to measure that. For consideration, or for extra information, Uncapped Games is owned by Tencent. They're the larger company who owns them, which, as you might know, are the same company who also bought Riot Games. They own a huge amount of companies, gaming companies particularly, and there are a Chinese conglomerate, which means that they have run into, should we say, political issues, especially in America with the whole Chinese versus American sort of media giants going on. But yeah, I mean, it owns a huge amount of games and game companies, including things like Miniclip, Supercell. It has investments in Epic Games, Ubisoft, etc., etc. So, Uncapped was, I guess, just a drop in the market. And I guess this was an experiment done by them to see what response they'd get in the RTS space. And I think they were making really good headway. I'm actually incredibly surprised that of all the ones that got stopped, the Battle Aces was the one that did. So now that I've had a little bit of a think about what I actually want this video to be, mainly because I've started recording this video as a sort of gut reaction to the news that's been shared. I think I want to share my story in getting into Battle Aces and how it's been. So I think basically I started only maybe a beta or two ago. I actually don't know how many betas there's been or alphas there's been before this. But I made a video in response to it, and effectively it was this video. And the whole thing about this video was that basically me coming into Battle Aces, I'd come in with the traditional experience of an RTS, that I was going to try and play it competitively, and I was going to try and be the best at it. And the TLDR of this entire video is I found more fun eventually playing this game by not doing that, by instead focusing and spending my time just fucking around and playing around with the game and trying to get funny builds to work. And for me, as a content creator, it was a pretty big video. Not just because it was, I genuinely think it was a good video, but also because it was one of the first videos where I had the actual developers of the game not only acknowledge that they'd seen the video, but like properly promote it and respond to it. For me, as a very small content creator, right, I'm here with, I think at the time I had just over 100 subscribers. It was the first time that a company had really like acknowledged me. And I have good news. I have had that done since then. I've had the developers of both Zero Space and Stormgate actually acknowledge my videos, which is great. That's super cool. But yeah, I mean, I think it showed how Battle Aces was looking for content creators in this sort of vein, in this sort of variety. And it was really nice to have, and it really encouraged me to like play and enjoy the game a bit more. Obviously, but I mean, obviously my video was a bit of a retrospective of that beta, so I'd made it right at the end of it, so I didn't have an opportunity to play it. So when the next beta came around, I wanted to do more to get involved with the community, and that's when I made this, which was the Battle Bash. So for those who don't know, I'm a tournament host here in the UK. I run fighting game community here in my local city, and I have been involved in the hosting of video game tournaments for God's nearly 9 or 10 years, including hosting Hearthstone ones years ago, and I've been helping to run some of the Stormgate ones that have been running over the past two-ish years, only assisting here and there, but I've had a hand in it. And I really enjoy tournament hosting and thought Battle Aces had a really interesting competitive scene, so I was very excited to do that. And the Battle Bash for me was one of the big, I guess, successes that we've had in this channel over the last couple of years, particularly for a content creator. I had no audience, no views going into it, so like I could have easily just hosted it and had maybe just the 5 or 10 people who played in it see it. We ended up getting to, I think we peaked at like 80 or 90 views on the day. We had a pretty consistent showing of about 60 to 70, which is, really, really good for a channel with fucking no views. And the event ran well. I actually have already made a video again on the Battle Aces tournament and how it ran. That was a terrible freeze frame for me to freeze on. But in this video, I go through what went into hosting the tournament, what needs making, what needs creating, and all the stuff that went, all of the troubles that we had running it on the day. And generally, though, I was proud of how the event went. And the tournament games we've got were really great, and the format was, I think, really good fun for the viewers. The viewers really enjoyed the format, but we were definitely going to work on and change the format. Again, I talk a bit about the feedback that the players gave on the formatting here. But but yeah, it was great, and those sets are still up on my channel, so you can still see it. So this is, Jacko versus DeWalt. This was a great set. And we have another set on there, the Banan versus DeWalt as well. And yeah, the tournament was a great fun. Was really great fun, and I'm glad to hear the players enjoyed it as much as generally as much as the viewers did as well. Yeah, and so basically, just generally, we'd had a pretty good flow, a very consistent build up, and I think the viewership had gone reasonably well for a community that was maybe only a couple of months old. It's unfortunate to hear that I guess the company behind it, Tencent, wasn't happy with what was being or what the return they were seeing on it. I think it's tough to see that, especially in the RTS space, because the RTS space is not a big market. It's a very passionate market. I think that's the biggest thing you've got over other communities. Your players who play RTSs are very loyal, like horrifically loyal, which is, incredibly cool and incredibly exciting to see. I also think it's really easy to build an RTS esports or competitive scene around those sort of competitive games. I think they inherently build themselves to it. I think only really fighting games compete in being able to build a competitive world and format around that, and a lot of that can be effectively run by your community. You can just prop it up and help it go. But yeah, I think that was basically my experience with the Battle Aces as a whole, and I was looking forward to creating new stuff from it, and I was going to host another Battle Bash whenever I got the chance to do so, maybe change the format a little bit. I'm a bit sad I won't ever get to do that. But yeah, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you too have experiences with the Battle Aces community and the Battle Aces beta, and I hope that you will stick around here and stick around in the RTS scene and community, and join in and interact more. I know that RTS games can be really intimidating and really scary to get into, but I hope to facilitate and help get people into that more. If you have had an experience in the RTS community, I'd love you, particularly in the Battle Aces community, I'd love you to share that below, because I think more people need to see what's gone on, and that it is a really great and welcoming space to get into. And yeah, I guess my biggest advice is support the games you like and support the games you enjoy. I'm going to continue making content for Zero Space and Stormgate and whatever RTSs are out there, as long as they are active and exist. And I hope you'll support me. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a great day, or as best as they can after receiving news like this. See you all later. Bye.